Okay, this is a two-parter.
Oh, no.
First of all, what's the best superpower? Second of all, which superpower would you choose? These are your opinions. This is a judgment-free zone, okay?
I mean, I've always kind of been drawn to either telekinesis or invisibility.
Define.
Like when you can move stuff with your mind.
Okay, that's a great one. Or?
Because I feel like it's very versatile. Or invisibility.
And these are, in your opinion, the best or the ones that you would choose?
Both. Why would I not want to choose the one that I think is best?
Well, so for me, I think the best objective superpower is telekinesis.
Yeah.
But I would probably pick flying.
Why? Why would you not pick the best one?
I don't know. That's a great point, but I just am drawn to flight. You get to, listen, no more traffic. That's top of the list of like, this is incredible.
Yeah, teleportation might be nice.
Oh,
I don't
okay, so
I don't
that's the
really
same type of
care
thing.
about flying. But
Flying would be cool. See, teleportation is great for practicality. I'm there. I'm where I want to be. But
Yeah.
flight is like, you get to live in the moment. You get to be up in the clouds. You fly around, you know? And you still get to be where you want to be.
I'd rather have like instantaneous.
I can see.
Like between teleportation and flying, I'd rather teleport.
I can see that. I think you're wrong.
I think you're wrong.
We as humans are tied to this earth.
Yeah.
And so we would never be able to see, you know? Wouldn't that be a cool perspective to be able to see as the birds see?
I guess.
You're just saying the time. But I'm like, you fly fast. It's not like you're going 30 up in the sky. Like you have supersonic flight speed, you know? Like normal Superman flying.
Yeah.
You're not a big comic person, so you don't have any reference. Holy cow. I'm sweating to death.
He's
folks.
leaving sweat puddles on the table.
I don't know what's happening to me. I went to the gym this morning. I didn't take any thermogenic powder. I showered.
What is thermogenic powder?
You don't know what that is?
No.
So thermogenics are like compounds that make you sweat more. And the idea is like they help you burn fat. I have one in there. No, none of this stuff really works, which is a great, later in the podcast, we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
I've just never heard of that before.
I don't know if it's thermogenic powder. Thermogenics is what usually is what it's called.
Interesting.
Anyway, I didn't take
You're just
any
sweating.
of that. I'm just sweating and I cannot stop. I have sat in front of the fan.
It's not hot in here.
It's not hot in here. I understand that. It wasn't hot in the gym. It's a nice spring day outside. It's
beautiful.
This is just me, baby. I roll out of bed. I'm soaked. Wet rat. I hate it. But this is why I don't like spring and summer.
Wouldn't you want your superpower then to be being cold?
No.
Wouldn't you want to be the Iceman from The Incredibles?
That's a great point, but also stupid because
But you could slide really fast on the ice like he does.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. He zooms on his little ice waves.
My choice of superpower is anything that will get me out of Atlanta traffic.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing on this earth that boils my blood more than sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
This is a character flaw. I understand. I got a little bit of road rage. I want to be in control. But when I'm in traffic, I don't like the person that I am.
I feel like in traffic, it feels like you're wasting time.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And I really hate wasting time.
I gotta wipe myself.
Wipe it down. Wipe the table too, please.
I'll wipe the table later.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is horrendous. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I can't help it. This is who I am. Jeez, I'm gonna have to change shirts in the middle of this. Keep going. I'm listening to you.
Well, no, I just I hate to feel like I'm wasting time. Yes. And when you're sitting in traffic, all you can do is sit there and stare ahead of you.
Well, so I've started to use some tactics like listening to audiobooks.
Yeah.
Because then I at least feel like I'm stimulating my brain.
You're doing something enjoyable at the very least.
Even that, I think it's twofold. It's that waste of time, but it's also like, for some reason, I try and be a very live and let live type person. But when stupidity is thrown in my face, and there's nothing stupider than people who drive in this city. Mm-hmm. I am convinced. Listen, all you guys that live elsewhere are going to be like, my city's got the worst drivers. Baloney. Come and drive in the greater Atlanta area for an hour.
I feel like Atlanta has a reputation of being the worst place to drive.
Yes, but I've heard, you don't want to drive in LA. LA, I understand the traffic is bad, but I have a hard time believing that they're as dumb. I have seen some I've
seen some really boneheaded moves.
Wild moves. I'm talking people on 85 reversing and getting onto their exit. This is a major highway in this city, folks.
Yeah, it's one of the major ones.
Reversing because they missed their exit.
Yeah.
Into oncoming traffic.
If you miss your exit, just take the next one.
Loop it, baby. You've missed it for that day.
One.
You've got to go to the next one. But that's not even the worst of it. Like crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So when I am presented with that, my initial lizard brain reaction is like, oh my God, what an idiot. And that makes me mad because I think that people should be held to a higher standard.
Did I ever tell you about the story my patient told me of when she first moved to Atlanta, like decades ago, but she was driving on 285, which is a big circle around the entire Atlanta metro area. Huge circular highway. And she didn't know what her exit was, so she just kept going. This was like probably the 70s, so it was like before
there were
maps.
4 exits at that point. What is she missing?
She drove all the way around 285. And I told her,
lady,
that must have taken you hours. And she said, yeah, it was all day.
In the 70s? You're crazy. There weren't that many exits.
I don't know.
The city had not yet become what it is today.
Yeah. Maybe
How did she miss this?
Maybe she just got really, really lost. And now the story has become she drove all the way around 285. But it's kind of funny.
Jeez. Listen, I would love to battle you in the I hear you already. People from Dallas, Los Angeles, New York. Oh, we've got the word Florida. I hear you, Florida. You're close, but you are not as bad as this
Miami.
City.
Miami has pretty terrible traffic.
Okay. Miami's close.
Miami's pretty bad.
You're right. I would say 1A and 1B. Atlanta, Miami. Miami is miserable.
Miami's bad.
Like, if you're going to Miami, don't drive.
I've
just
only
walk.
Driven in Miami a couple of times, but it is
when you get to Miami,
rough.
Park your car and walk everywhere that you want to go because you're
get a hotel in a walkable area.
Literally, literally. And like the other thing that's really bad about Atlanta is just the car break-ins.
Yes,
like
my car got broken into.
I leave my car unlocked because I'm afraid that I don't have anything in it, right? I don't put anything of value in the car. But they're going to break the windows to see if there's something in the car.
They might as well just open the door.
I leave it unlocked. I'm like, yo, if you're going to hotwire it, that's on me, brother. You take the car, you've earned it. But if you're just looking to see if there's something you can snatch and grab real quick, there's nothing in here. I'm fine with you rooting around a little bit. All I got in there is trash. But I don't want you to break my window because that's going to be, that's struggle on me now. Now I got to find the money to fix my window.
We have to deal with the insurance company.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
But what's so funny, I leave my car door open. Man, I'm saying this to the world.
Yeah,
There's some
you
people
are.
out here. Okay, I'm starting to lock my car. Never mind. I'm locking it down. Don't break into my car. Anyway, I left my car open in the past when I was leaving my car door open, which I'm not doing anymore. In the past, and I came downstairs, and on my driver's seat was a little flyer from the Norcross PD that said, this car has been tested.
No way.
Yes. So the Norcross PD will go around
and
test car doors to see.
No way.
And it said, we advise, locking the car door. If you have any questions, call the precinct.
What?
Listen.
That's hilarious.
Conspiracy theory. Okay. So here's what I think.
Are they looking for guns in the
I think one, but I don't think it's the actual cops. I think it's some criminals.
You're such a wild conspiracy guy.
I think they have concocted this idea where they're going to say, okay, we'll get them to call us, and then we'll come out dressed as police, and we'll build a rapport.
Was it a 1-800? Like, was it a...
I don't know.
You can Google the number for the police department.
Don't take this away from me.
Okay.
Life is
I'm
so boring.
just telling you.
Life is so boring without these theories and these... You want to just think that everything's random chance? For me, it's so much more fun if there's this giant conspiracy.
Like, if you're that worried about it, just Google Norcross Police Department phone number.
Why must you tamp down my joy?
You don't look very joyful. You look upset.
It's upset, but I like it's why I read books about the CIA and all that. It's upsetting, yes, to understand that your government murdered a sitting president. That's an upsetting thing, but it's still interesting and fun to think about. That conspiracy, listen, obviously conspiracy theories can be dangerous, but in this case,
sometimes if you don't take it too seriously,
I'm just having a fun little time.
You're just riffing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just riffing.
Man. Yeah. I would say I'm pretty into conspiracy theories.
You are.
I just think it's more fun if there's a shadow government,
It's more fun if there's a shadow government.
It's more interesting.
Interesting might be a better word than fun.
In my opinion, rather than having the incompetence of our political system be in the forefront, it's more interesting if there's a cabal.
Like maybe they're actually so smart that there's a shadow government and they're just putting on a stupid show.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's more interesting to me than what is reality, and that is we've elected
They're just a bunch of idiots
across the board because humans are fallible and dumb.
Oh,
anyway,
man.
This is not a political podcast, but that's more fun. So
your superpower is flying.
Oh my God. We started with superpowers, huh? Yes, flying, because I don't want to be in traffic. But I do, I would also say, originally it was going to be super strength. But
you could win all the competitions, get big money?
The issue is, if you have super strength, like for me, part of the reason why I like competing in strength sports is the building towards the competition.
Yeah, you'd just be skipping the process.
Exactly. It's like Dash in The Invincibles. No, The Incredibles. That's the name of the movie, the Pixar movie. When he just runs and they're telling him to slow down, and he's just jogging.
Yeah.
Like if he ever ran at full power,
yeah.
He's the fastest man on earth. So it's like, what's the point then?
Yeah. I get that.
I find purpose and drive in strength sports from having people be stronger than me or me trying to be stronger than myself from a year ago. So if I just woke up one morning and I was super strong,
there would be no drive anymore.
It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Pick up buildings. That'd be cool for a day. And then it's like, well, what do I do now? Such a big part of my life is getting stronger.
Yeah.
What do I do now that I've achieved it?
Yeah, I get that.
So it's no longer super strength. And it is probably flight.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to drive anymore.
Yeah. I choose telekinesis because it is the best superpower objectively. And I also feel like it would assist me in wasting less time and becoming more efficient.
Okay. That's it's a good point, but it's like...
It would also be very fun. You could mess with people, do crazy stuff.
How would you use telekinesis on a day-to-day basis?
Just for general multitasking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the vacuum could be going.
You're my favorite.
While I'm at work, and then I wouldn't have to vacuum anymore.
You're just my favorite.
And then I could do fun stuff.
This is a fantasy land in which there are no limits on you, and you have chosen telekinesis to do household chores easier.
Seems like a no-brainer to me.
I love you. Listen,
seems like an absolute no-brainer.
You're my soulmate, and I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life. I love you, and I love how your brain works.
And I wouldn't have to get up off the couch if I wanted a glass of water.
That's crazy.
I don't have to get up and get it. Just
I
boom.
get you. I'm with you a little bit, but don't limit yourself. The world is your oyster.
Think of the fancy stuff I could cook. You could have spoons going. It would be amazing.
Okay, so... It
is practical. It is a practical superpower.
I get that. But in your mind, when you have telekinesis, now you are also all knowing. Because if you still don't know the recipe to this thing. So you're saying you're reading the recipe and with telekinesis, you're doing all the, okay, I get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not flying, but it's okay.
I feel like you could find a way.
God. Sweat update. Soaked through shirt number 1.
I feel like you could find a lot of creative ways to use telekinesis to help with things like travel.
Oh, so you're saying flight is you get one and that's it.
You can fly.
Okay, I get that, but still.
It's versatile. It improves efficiency. It is, everybody I think would agree that it is at least, if not the best, top 3 superpowers.
I'm with you. This is why I split it into 2, because I think objectively you're right. Telekinesis is close to the top of the list, if not top of the list.
And I want the top. I want the best.
I get that, but I want to fly.
That's good for you.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll have telekinesis, so I'll do stuff for you.
Yeah, we can be a superhero couple.
Yeah. And you can pick me up and fly me around.
Like in Sky High.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic movie.
That is a great movie.
But also really weird. So that movie was when I first fell in love with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Okay.
You know who that is?
Is that the main girl?
She's the bad girl.
Oh.
The evil one.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, because Kay Panabaker is she's quirky love interest.
Like the girl next door.
Yeah, the best friend that turns into the...
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead is the bat, and man, young Jonah was like, wow.
That's it.
She's pretty attractive. It's so funny because all of my celebrity crushes are completely opposite of all of them almost exclusively have black hair.
They're
goths, and then
emo.
I fell in love with you.
I'm not emo. I'm not an emo kid.
Not yet, but I'm still working my magic.
Emo's not dead.
It's not dead. Okay, so That was a lot of fun.
we got way off track.
I want to pull us back on track and talk a little bit about process.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of times in strength sports or weightlifting or making a body composition change, just trying to get your life in order, we hear this phrase of like, just love and trust the process. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. But I also want to talk about how it's okay sometimes to hate the process. Because you like, okay, what are your thoughts on that? Hating the process. Do you think that's okay, or do you think that's self-defeating?
I think that everybody goes through ups and downs in life. We all have days where we hate our life.
Yeah.
I had one of those days yesterday.
Right.
Nothing went wrong. Like, I just didn't really enjoy what was going on in life. And that's fine. That doesn't mean I hate my job. That doesn't mean I'm not happy with my life in general. But like, it's okay to have days where you're just really not feeling it. Yeah. And it's like, God,
I know.
Couldn't this just all be different? That's just being a person. I think you just have to keep, you just got to keep moving forward and find something to latch on to be grateful for, or find somebody to encourage you. Like you encouraged me a lot yesterday. Yeah. And just kind of keep moving on, do the best you can that day, and it'll get better again.
I agree with you. I think for me, I always am putting things in a powerlifting or a strength context, right? Mm-hmm. So the way that I look at this is like after my competition last year in October, and it's so funny because I do bullet journaling on my phone, and every now and again a memory will come up and I'll read it. And one came up from like 2 or 3 weeks after the competition where I was still working out, but I didn't have the fire. Yeah. Because the competition, for those of you that don't know, my competition in October did not go well. Yeah. In fact, I didn't finish. I got knocked out because of an injury.
Yeah, you got injured.
And I was dealing with weight issues, like my body weight. I was dealing with having to reset my relationship with food. I just wasn't where I thought I should have been because my identity had changed to a strength coach, a personal trainer, and then to have the opportunity to show that to other people fail, that really knocked my self-esteem down and like my identity, right? So the journal entry says, still in the gym, not really loving it right now. Don't know if I should stop. I don't really feel like this is for me anymore. Right? Wow. So imagine if I had listened to those feelings and just
given up.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that it is so important to look outside of yourself in those times because my feelings were telling me this is miserable. You really don't like this. You may want to try something else. But I knew objectively, and with hindsight, I was able to say, I've never felt more like myself or I've never found more fulfillment than when I'm in the gym working towards a goal. So even though I was hating the process at that time, I was still able to just go and clock in. Like I was going in and doing maybe like 3 sets of something and just leaving. I was like, I hate this. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore for like a good month. And then, things started to turn again and I got some distance from the competition and I was able, and now I cannot wait to get back in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I love training again.
Yeah.
But there are going to be those times where you don't love it. And in those times, the advice that I can give you is, so let's reverse engineer this. When everything's going good, when everything's going well and you're really vibing with whatever process you're doing, work, school, gym, whatever, take a second to take stock of that. Not how you feel, but what the process is giving you at the time. Is it cementing your identity? Is it helping you find purpose in this life?
Do you feel better physically?
Right.
Is it lifting up your emotions?
Right. Because that's important as well. And then if you get into the time, because you may love the process for the rest of your life, and that's awesome.
It's unlikely.
There are most likely
you're gonna have downtimes.
Right. And in those times, you have to be able to go back. And this is why I'm so passionate about getting people to film themselves in the gym, because it could even be that. It could even be looking back on a set of squats that you did and saying, wow, I remember how that gave me such a sense of accomplishment.
I remember we did that after your competition. We looked at like old films of when you first started lifting weights, and we watched some of your very first squats.
Old squats.
And you were
videos.
like not even close to hitting depth. And you're like, gosh, I didn't do well in the competition. It didn't go the way that I wanted, but look how far I've come from a year ago.
Absolutely.
And
I forgot we did
that. We spent like an hour looking at all of your old weightlifting, like little clips that you had filmed. And I think that was enough to get you to go and do those 3 sets in the gym and clock in for that month and get past the bad times.
Well, this is why I'm just so passionate about it.
Yeah.
I really like, I think that filming yourself in the gym has gotten such a bad rap because there's so many people that film themselves and they like make fun of the people in the background, or they're like filming other people, or they're posting it to kind of gain clout on the internet or whatever. And I do that.
You
I
got to
post
do
my
it for
lifts,
yourself though at the end of the day.
but it has to be for yourself. Like the base reason that I film myself is to get better, to be able to look at it technique-wise and get better, but also in those moments where I'm really not feeling it, to say, look how far I've come. I'm not going to allow myself to derail this process, right?
Yeah.
Even if I hate it right now.
Yep. I think you've even gotten into that same kind of slump with your diet sometimes, like when you're really trying to hit weight and it's like the last couple weeks and it's just misery. Looking back at, before you started this journey to change your body composition and how bad you felt all the time when you were over 100 pounds overweight and not exercising and eating crap all the time. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? I'm a little burnt out on my diet right now. I'm a little bit burnt out on chicken and rice, but at the end of the day, I feel better right now. Even though I'm burnt out on this food, I feel better than I could have ever imagined that I would back when I was like that. And so I think that kind of goes back to filming yourself in the gym. It's all about perspective and the long view.
Well, I think a lot of us, myself included, just have such short memories.
Everybody does.
Especially with like body composition change and weightlifting. I find this with most of my clients. It's like, a lot of people will message me and be like, man, the weight didn't move the way I wanted it to. And I got to say, hey, press pause for a second. Look back 3 months ago even.
Yeah.
Where you were. This was a 1 rep max. And now you're mad that you're doing 5 reps of this and it's not moving as fast as you want it to.
Like, what do you want?
What are you doing? And that is why, another thing is that is why it's so important to either have training partners or a coach or somebody that can be objective with you.
Yeah.
Because you will always take the negative view. Not always, but most of the time.
I think most of us are likely, especially when you are in a slump, you're already predisposed to be a bit negative.
It's like what we talked about last week with the touching of the bramble bush that's going to poke you rather than the 10 bushes that feel good. You gravitate and remember the negative, right? So you need somebody to be able to say, hey man, let's look around for a second, pick your head up and see how far you've come. And in that, this is why it's so important to seek examples of people where you want to be and see if you can find when they were at their lowest. This is why I respect Chris Bumstead so much. Not because, he's genetically gifted. He's one of the best bodybuilders we've ever seen. Awesome. But why I respect him is because from what I can tell, he does not shy away from talking about when he's at his lowest. When, you can go back and watch some of he puts everything out on film, which I think is so valuable for younger bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Because you can see this guy at the top of the mountain, 4-time Olympia champion, one of the most popular bodybuilders in the world, making a huge empire because of his body. And you can go and watch some of his videos where he's talking about, I hate this. I do not want to do this. And just being completely raw and honest with people. And that
about how hard it is and what you have to push through to reach your goals.
I don't think it was this Olympia. I think it was last one when he was going for his 3-peat. But if you go back, I encourage you to go back and watch some of those videos where because he's in a bad place mentally and he does not shy away from telling you like, guys, this is miserable right now, but I love this thing. so much, and this thing gives my life purpose that even while I'm hating the process, I'm going to keep pushing through it.
Because I know
Right.
that it's going to get better.
Yeah, true. That's the thing, is you're not going to spend all that time.
Like, it's going to swing back. It's
It is.
going to swing back around.
It is.
And I think that's true of a lot of things.
So I think social media has a lot of evil.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad stuff about it. But these moments where you can find somebody that you look up to or an example in your sport, seek out moments in their social media life that they're willing to share about the down times. Because that's something that you can hold on to as an example of, look where this person got to. Look where they were. Why can't I do that? If they can do that, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
And even if you most likely will never reach that same level of success, that doesn't matter.
Right. But you're still going to be able to take that and apply it to your own
And you're going to
hard
reach
times.
your own level of success, right?
Yeah.
So it always has to be done in context, because, people will hear that clip and say, oh, I can be the next Mr. Olympia. Most likely.
Probably not.
Not.
Probably not.
There's two.
Maybe.
There's two people that win it out of how many bodybuilders in the world, right? There's an open bodybuilding and there's classic.
Yeah.
Of the whole year, there are thousands of people gunning for it. So most likely, no, you're not going to win it. That doesn't matter, because
But you can still make improvements to
you
yourself.
are going to make improvements to yourself, 100%. So just a little encouragement for you guys today, because I was thinking about that a lot. I'm so thankful to be back in the gym and to be enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to neglect the times where I was not thankful to be in the gym.
And you're going to have times again
Oh,
in
absolutely.
the future.
Absolutely.
When you don't want to be in the gym.
100%.
But you're going to do it anyway.
Yes. I honestly do think so. And, it may come a time where I cannot do the powerlifting moves that I like to do anymore. And I'm just going to pivot. I'm going to find something else that gives me that fire, that drive, Maybe it's going to be bodybuilding. Maybe it's going to be more endurance. I don't know. For right now,
Maybe you're going to be the next ultra marathoner. You never know.
Dude,
Probably not.
I don't think that's going to happen, because I hate running more than anything else. But who knows? Who knows?
You never know.
Life
is long.
I'm thinking about, so a little insider tip here. I'm thinking about making a video on doing something that I really hate, because so I find it hard to connect to some of my clients because they really hate going to the gym. And it is the thing that I look forward to. When I tell you, when the gym is done for the day, I'm sad. Like, that is a real thing. Okay. So I'm trying to find a mode of training that I hate, and it is running.
But you have found some enjoyment in it, I think.
I have found enjoyment in not wanting to do it, and then when I'm done with it, saying, I'm glad that I did that.
That's exactly how I feel when I'm done working out, actually.
Right.
Like this morning, I really did not want to, but you said you'll feel better if you do. Because like I was saying earlier, I had a bad day yesterday. It's like, nope, you'll feel better if you do it. Just pick out of the 4 that I have for you, pick your favorite one and do it.
Yeah.
And you'll feel better. And I did.
So that
I actually, I worked hard at it. I actually increased weight for some things.
Right, exactly.
And I was like, yeah, okay, I feel good.
I am of the belief that if you can just do 30 seconds or a minute or just go.
Just start. Starting is the hardest.
For me, what's so funny is I work at a gym, right? So I have a bunch of treadmills. I could just be done with work and go run. But I purposefully choose to go to another gym to change my mindset, to say, I'm no longer an employee. I'm going to train. I'm going to try and get better at running, right? And that really works well for me. I am very connected. Like, I have to have a certain gym uniform helps turn my brain on, or a certain place helps turn my brain on, or a certain song. These are things that you can really associate with the work that you're about to do that can help prime your body to get ready to do that work. So that's another thing. But just, I want to make a video about, because I want to run a 5K with you. So maybe when we run the 5K, I'll make a video talking about how, because I don't foresee myself ever enjoying going to run. I don't. While I'm doing it, I'm like, I wish I was doing anything else right now. Like, it's miserable for me. And I'm not running that long. I'm running for about 20 minutes. And I'm intervals,
Yeah.
And I hate it.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see how that process continues, because I've committed to doing something with you. And I think that's what's pushing me forward. And also the idea of getting a little bit closer to how my clients think. Because I'm always trying to figure out ways to motivate.
Yeah, figuring out some empathy
Right.
and how you overcome the desire or the lack of desire.
Yeah,
to run. Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you what, like 9 times out of 10, my clients are like, hey, listen, I'm hiring you because I need somebody to be accountable to because I really will not go to the gym. I hate this if I don't have somebody. And I never experienced that. And now I'm starting to kind of feel that a little bit more. All right. So let's do the fitness question of the day.
Okay.
Yeah. You got anything else on the?
No, I don't think so.
So the fitness Reddit has been locked down. It's a private community now. I don't know. Maybe it'll be open next week. So we went to Quora. You know Quora? It's a place where
I know Quora.
ask questions. Yeah. It's a very basic question, but I thought it would lead us into an interesting discussion. What are the best weight loss drugs, medicines / supplements?
Ozempic, baby.
I'm so happy you said that. If you're paying attention to the news or to anything really, you'll know that Ozempic, which is semaglutide,
Viral.
is that I think that's the
Yes,
that's the clinical name, is going insane
Viral.
because it is very effective at weight loss. Now, that on its head sounds like a fantastic thing. We are a country that by 2035, over 3/4 of us will be categorized as obese. Did you know that? If we continue on this current track. So you think, if we can medicate
miracle.
If we can medicate it out of our society, that's going to be awesome, right? Now, before we get started on this,
so insane.
I do not want to come off as saying that I don't trust modern medicine or doctor. I think
No.
there are obviously some incredible medical interventions that make people's lives better, save people's lives, help people live with chronic diseases, right? Which obesity is becoming classified as a chronic disease. And obesity-related diseases, diabetes, heart disease, all that type of stuff.
Yes.
But what I do want to say is this idea that we can medicate away these problems really grinds my gears in a lot of cases. And again, it's very individual, but this idea of the easy way out, it just hurts me because I really believe, let's not even talk about how semaglutide actually works, which we'll get to. But I really believe that if you can make a behavioral change, it is more likely to stick around with you, right?
Yes. I think that people don't consider the potential drawbacks. They're like, I can take this shot and it's going to fix everything. I'm going to lose a bunch of weight and that's awesome. But not considering the potential side effects, the monetary cost, it's quite expensive. The fact that you would have to be on it forever. I mean, I think there are potential drawbacks. And if somebody were to consider all of those along with the potential, positive aspects and decide to do it, great. But I think people just hear, you take this shot, you lose a bunch of weight, you move on with your life. And that's not accurate.
Well, you can already see it in the way that it's being used. It is not being used in prescriptions. It's being bought under the table for bodybuilding.
It's being used off label.
And vanity.
Yeah.
Right? So you can already see our society, and this is not a judgment, but our society is looking for the quick fix. That's just human nature, right? Yeah. Semaglutide actually, what's so interesting is I just heard Dr. Alan Aragon, who, I did a review of one of his books. He's fantastic. One of the best diet researchers we have out there. Really measured guy. I would recommend you follow him on Instagram. But he was talking about it, and he was talking about a study they did where when we talk about weight loss, we don't want to lose lean mass. Because as we age, we want to hold on to as much muscle and skeletal tissue or skeletal.
Skeletal.
Yeah, there you go. Like in our body.
Joints, ligament, like the ligaments.
We want to hold on to it because it's what is going to protect us as we age, right? So when they did the study, usually when you see weight loss, let's say you lost 20 pounds.
You've shrunk your fat cells.
Well,
right.
In a normal context, in the way that we coach weight loss is we want to be high protein so that we can hold on to as much lean mass as possible. So normally, if you've done it right, quote unquote, there's no right way, but if what we want to see,
if you've done it in the standard way,
20 pounds down, 15 of that will be fat mass. 5% of that or 5 pounds of that will be lean body mass, because when you lose weight, your body is going to lose some of that lean body mass. That's why it's so difficult to be so shredded and still maintain that boxy big look, because you're going to start to burn into your fat-free mass. Ozempic, is the complete opposite.
Oh gosh.
15 pounds of that is lean mass and 5 pounds of that is fat mass.
Really?
Now, this was one study. Don't freaking cancel me. We still don't know, but it looks like that is the way that it is. That is its, what's the word? Modus operandi. Mechanism. There you go. For action.
Wow. Is that, and maybe we don't know yet, but is that because people don't change their diet while they're on it?
I don't know. I didn't read the study, but that would be my initial thought.
Yeah. It's like, oh, did they not eat a high protein, like quote unquote healthier diet while on it?
Right.
Did they continue to just eat potato chips while taking Ozempic?
Because
I would be interested to know that.
I would also be interested to know that. I have not read the study. I just heard this one little clip. I need to do a little bit more research on it. So I'm not saying yes or no either side of it. I'm not a doctor. You shouldn't take medical advice from me anyway. We're just two people discussing stuff,
like,
right?
Go talk to your doctor if you want to take Ozempic.
But what I think it is exactly what you said, because when I craft a weight loss diet, I don't even call it a weight loss diet. It's a fat loss diet, because for me, that is the important tissue to lose. We have seen an association with fat around the midsection and cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, especially in men. So I don't care what you weigh. I more so care about your waist and hip ratio.
Your composition.
Right. So we can get you down 20 pounds. That's great. Listen, I'll put you on a 1,200 calorie diet and make you run all day. You'll lose a lot of muscle, more so than anything, right?
Yeah.
So when I start that thing, the first variable I'm looking at is your daily protein intake, because that is going to stave off some of that muscle loss. So I think it is.
And it's going to keep you more satisfied while you're eating a lower calorie diet.
But just talking about body composition, that protein is money when you're in a deficit. So I would speculate that yes, it is that the hunger, your appetite is suppressed or whatever, but you're still eating the same types of foods. So yes, maybe you're not eating a whole bag of potato chips, but you're eating half of it. And so you're still,
but you've not increased your protein intake.
Right. So you're still in a calorie deficit, but you're eating foods that are not really helping you with this.
With maintaining your lean muscle mass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That I don't know, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So again, that's a prescription that's over the counter. There are other, the only supplement that I think has some evidence towards aiding in fat loss is caffeine, because caffeine can blunt appetite in a lot of cases, right? So you'll see bodybuilders very close to show they'll do fasted cardio, which doesn't really work, but don't, do what you want to do. And they'll take a lot of caffeine in the morning, do the fasted cardio, and through that process, they'll think they're losing a little bit more fat. Could be, I don't know, but it doesn't really work. Anyway.
Yeah, I think nutrition, I think, is known for having pretty limited amount of objective science behind it.
Oh, we don't know. Dude.
So there's a lot that's unknown. There's a
new field.
There's a lot that's very anecdotal.
It's so hard because every clinical trial,
you can't control everyone.
There are
unless you quarantined them in your lab,
and
like
even then,
if they were like on jury duty and they're like sequestered. That's the only way.
You'll never get a study through the ethics board with that.
Right.
So this is the problem with nutrition and the problem with our popular media's reporting on nutrition.
Yeah.
They will see one study, which is not done rigorously.
It's not a double-blind, large sample size.
Not any fault of the researchers. They just cannot do it.
Yeah.
There's so much variance in humans. That's why a lot of times you'll see mice or rat studies being extrapolated out to humans, because you can control the mice.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, if you're reading a headline of like sugar is as addictive as cocaine.
For mice.
That's a rat study, first and foremost. That was one study done, right? And then our popular media will take that little thing and that'll be blasted all over.
And they won't tell you it was mice.
You cannot find the actual source.
Well, because they can't do that study on human beings.
Exactly.
They can't.
Because most of those mice died.
They can't randomly assign group 1 to have sugar and group 2 to have hard drugs. They can't do it. Like you said, they'd never get it past an ethics board.
Right. So this is the problem. This is why it's so... Nutrition is such a minefield, and we just don't know. Like, if you come across somebody who is trying to sell you something in the nutrition world and says, this way is the only way that works,
run.
Walk in the other direction, man.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Even the top of the top researchers, if they're worth their salt, will say this is another piece of evidence towards a conclusion, but we cannot make definitive statements on nutrition. We just can't. It's like you see these people that are like super carnivore diet people because whatever, they had a disease and it fixed it.
Good for them.
Fantastic.
That's
Good
one
for
person.
you. Exactly.
That's one person. It worked for them. Awesome.
And I'm so happy it worked for them.
Yeah.
And your chronic disease is solved. I'm so happy for you. Do not then go and tout the carnivore diet as universally the diet of choice for everybody.
Right.
Because it doesn't work.
For everyone. Yeah.
Humans are so diverse in their genome, first and foremost, in their behavior patterns. You cannot extrapolate it out to massive,
Right.
You can't.
Exactly. And if you see somebody make that kind of statement and you're interested in it, research it for a little while. Decide if you want to try it.
Yeah.
And try it if you want to. Maybe talk to a doctor or a nutritionist to make sure you don't have any risk factors that it might impact.
But even
right?
still, like, nutritionists are very tribal as well. Registered dietitians are very tribal as well. They have things that worked that they have seen,
Yeah.
So you have to take a little bit of your own personal. What's so great? What's a really good thing about social media is you can find the zealot on one side and the zealot on the other side. So if you're interested in the carnivore diet and you've seen Carnivore MD, you can find people on the complete opposite
Go watch
spectrum.
some raw fruit vegan videos just for some balance.
Right. and try
balance the two extremes.
When my philosophy on diet, and this is how I approach is what are the foods that you've enjoyed? What are the eating patterns that you like? Because 9 times out of 10, unless you have a very specific medical condition in which I can't coach you anyway, go see a registered dietitian. I don't have the ability to do that. But if you're just trying to lose a little weight or gain a little weight, what are the things you like? When do you like to eat? What are the activities that you're doing? And then we're going to build a plan based on no specific food group, but based on a lot of different variables that are going to push you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And what works for them may not work for this other person, which is why I try and individualize it all. Obviously, I have starting points for everything. I'm a very carb-heavy guy, especially with a lot of my bodybuilders and my powerlifters, because I think that you get a great boost in energy, and most of the time, your workouts are going to be better. Some people don't train like that. Some people are very high-fat, low-carb. Fine. We'll figure it out. We'll see what works.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to go the little extra mile with nutrition.
Yep.
You really do. With exercise, it's like most everything is going to work.
Like, move.
Go exercise.
Do
right?
stuff.
But with nutrition, you've got to.
You have to have a little bit more critical thinking
Yes.
on an individual level
Absolutely.
to find what you need. Yeah.
Okay. Relationship advice?
Let's
You wanna
do it.
I'm tired, man. Let's do this.
You sweated out all your energy.
I've stopped sweating, but I'm now crashing.
You're crashing after the gym.
Okay. Relationship advice. My girlfriend, 27, female, asked me, 26 male, a hypothetical about spending money, and it raised a red flag for me.
Oh, gosh.
So I've been with my girlfriend for a year and a half now. The other day we were playing Stardew Valley. Dude,
Great
fantastic. Love that game. And everything was going good. We share money in the game, and she randomly asked, what would you do if I spent all our money right now? Being just a game, I said, go right ahead. And she said, well, what would you do if that was in real life? Oh my God. I asked her to expand on that, and she phrased the question like this. She said, if we're married, what would you do if I spent all of our money down to $0 on something for the both of us without consulting you first? Oh my God. I was honest and I told her to probably divorce her, to which she was shocked. She asked if I'd even talk to her about it and try to reason with her first. And I told her that if she spent all of our money, then I would most likely divorce her. Obviously, this was hypothetical, but it's honestly kind of raising red flags for me. We don't share any accounts right now, but we do have different views on finance, clearly. I want to bring it up to her again, but I could use some advice about how to go about that. This is so funny.
I think we might be reading a little too much.
Let me start over. Stop making hypothetical situations the cornerstone of what you and your partner talk about. For the love of God, nothing drives me more batty than when I see, would you still love me if I were a worm? You're never going to be a worm, so why are you asking me the question? Freaking drives me crazy. What does that solve except to cause an argument?
I feel like the first, like after she states that hypothetical, just to say, would you really do that?
Yeah, but there's no way, unless this person is truly off their rocker.
I think we would want to know a little bit more about this girlfriend. Like, does she have a history? Like, does she have a lot of credit card debt? Has she spent all of her money down to zero on something frivolous?
I remember why I picked this question, because this is so funny.
I feel like you would, and as her boyfriend, you might know these answers about her personality to know if this is something she would actually possibly do. And if it's not something she would ever really do, then I don't think we need to be upset about it.
I have the funniest picture in my head of these two going to the divorce court, and on the line of why they wrote, it's like, she spent all of our money in Stardew Valley. It's like the judge is just like, what?
Like, this is so dumb.
What is this? Is this a real, did she buy a island called Stardew Valley? No, it's a video game, sir. Get the hell out of here. Adjourned. It's like, what?
You're still married. Go away.
What are we doing? I just don't.
Yeah.
First of all,
if you really want to talk about getting married and what your finances would look like, talk about that in a serious way. Don't talk about it in hypotheticals. Talk about what your philosophy is and find out what your partner's philosophy would be and go from there.
I just got to believe that this girl.
But this is crazy.
This girl was just trying to get a rise out of homeboy, and she did. She accomplished it. Because no one.
Who would do that?
No one would actually do that, right? I gotta believe.
Like, what is she going to spend all of their life savings on, like a trip to Greece?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, is that the hypothetical?
No, they're going to buy a farm
that?
and live on the farm like Stardew Valley. I don't know. I really it's just such a comedic picture to me of being like, what if I spend all the money in the game?
This is not a real situation.
And then extrapolating that out to, what if I spent all of our money in real life? And then that causing an
argument. That's a joke. That's not an argument. That's a joke.
You gotta be, these are 27, 26. These are our age people. What's happening? Who's thinking that that's real? I feel
and
bad.
Again, maybe if she's somebody who has a history of frivolous spending.
I love how you're trying to give an actual answer here. And
I'm just trying to think of the only possible way that reaction to that question could make sense.
Not real.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No way. Dude,
no person would do that.
Like I said, I'm so happy that you have never asked me any of these hypothetical questions, because
it's such a waste of time. I hate wasting time. Why would I ask you something like that?
Instagram reels or these TikToks. It's like, I asked my boyfriend if he'd love me if I was a bird, and he said no, and now I'm sad. I'm like, dude,
you're
what?
You're not a bird.
You will never be a bird. Why are you asking that question? You're just looking for a fight.
Yeah. At least make it something plausible. Like, would you like me if I dyed my eyelashes red?
Oh, you went really less dark than I did.
I mean, I'm thinking something totally off the wall. Like, would you still love me if I did this crazy thing from my appearance?
I said if I only had one leg. I'm imagining she's in a terrible car accident and her leg gets cut off.
But I know that you would still love me if I only had one. Of course you would.
Oh, 100%.
You wouldn't care. I guess that's why I don't ask you those questions.
Imagine the avenues it would open up for me to just kick your leg out. To be over.
That would be really mean. I can't believe that you would do that to me.
We would have to change your name.
I can't believe that you would hypothetically do that to me.
We'd have to change your name.
To what?
Eileen.
You're such a butthole.
Hopefully that never happens. But if it does, obviously, yes.
No, I know that I
love your personality.
Yeah, there's nothing that could happen to me or that I could do to myself that would make you not love me.
I wonder if the root of the question is, do you love my personality enough? That's what it is. It's just trying to get a little bit of I can't think of words, man. I'm toasted.
Just confidence, maybe, or a reassurance.
There it is. Oh, you guys are watching my brain melt out of my ears live on camera. This is what happens to me when I talk for a long time. Reassurance about, do you love me as my?
Do you love me for me?
But again, if you're a bird, you can't speak English.
Right. At that point, your personality is fundamentally different. You're no longer a human being.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
It's just absurd.
Yeah. It's would you love me if I were 9 feet tall? Yeah, probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you love me if I were 2 feet tall? Yeah.
Yes. Man. Man.
Now you're picturing me 9 feet tall.
9 feet tall. Holy cow.
All the way up to the ceiling.
We'd
Can
be
you
millionaires.
imagine?
You'd be in the WNBA.
I wouldn't be a millionaire if I were in the WNBA.
Oh, true. We'd be 100,000aires. We'd be making a moderate salary because you're in the WNBA. Fantastic.
And I wouldn't fit on a cereal box because I'd be 9 feet tall.
Oh,
so forget the endorsements. Yeah, that's true.
Man.
Photoshop.
Dude, don't take these hypothetical questions seriously. That's just the name of the game.
Yeah. Especially about something as serious as like
Money.
finances once you're married. Like this is, if you actually want to know, talk about it in a serious, or serious might even be the wrong word, but talk about it in a factual way.
Yeah. Hey, can we talk about this legitimately instead of in Stardew Valley?
And if you're in a jokey mood right now, we can do it later.
Right. We can wait. It's okay.
Let me know when you're in the right headspace because I would love to talk about this.
Oh my gosh. That's just so funny to me. That concept is so funny to me.
It just doesn't accomplish anything to speak in
my God,
hypotheticals
it's
like that. I don't know.
It's so funny. All right. Well,
that was a funny one.
I love that one. That one's so funny.
But it's funny because like even when I play Animal Crossing, I'm still a big saver.
Yes.
I still don't spend all my bells.
That is so true.
I've got 1 million bells in the bank.
For what? It's not real.
I don't know. I don't even really play it anymore.
Can't take it with you.
But like when I do go back and I have to pay Leaf 100,000 bells to pick all the weeds off of my island, I'm not even going to sweat it.
Right. So I have kind of come to a halt with reading this year. So far.
You're in a slump.
I'm in a little bit of
We
a
were
slump.
just talking about this. It'll come back around. It's not a problem.
Yeah, but I was going at a breakneck pace.
You got ahead of me for a minute there.
I'm up to 28 books.
Your Goodreads says 31.
Goodreads is messed up.
No, it's not. Don't speak a word against them.
I think it's a terrible app, first and foremost.
Shut the heck up.
No, it's just poorly coded. It's miserable.
Perfect.
Oh my God. I will not hear from a Goodreads shill. I'm just saying, I don't think Goodreads is accurate because I'm tracking on my own little list where I'm giving it more in depth and it says 28. I don't know. Anyway, I've just come to a fork in the road.
Yeah.
I'm watching a little bit more, or I'm trying to watch more movies. I watched Terminator a couple days ago.
So you're doing other things that you enjoy.
Yeah, there's always a part of me in the back of my head that's like, you used to really love watching movies. Why don't you do that anymore? And I just don't.
With things, so when you get in a slump with things like going to the gym or things that are good for you, you should continue to do it at least a little bit until you get out of the slump. With things like hobbies, read a book if you want to read a book.
Yeah.
Watch a movie if you feel like watching a movie. I don't think we should get all in our heads of, I should, I used to always want to watch a movie and I guess I'll just force myself to watch a movie. Like, don't watch a movie.
It's a good point.
Why is it a big deal if you don't feel like watching a movie right now?
I'm incredibly competitive with myself, and like I find myself like, especially when I was in film school, watching all of these movies that people would recommend to me because I needed to catch up with, the film people or whatever. It's like I just don't have that drive anymore. I didn't. Yeah. I want to watch stuff.
That's fine.
That's why I watched Terminator, because I think that movie's cool.
And you enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
You had a great time.
It's a good perspective.
You sang the theme song for the next 3 days.
Dun, 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 dun. It's a great theme song.
Yeah.
Like one of the best theme songs ever.
Classic
So
theme song.
good.
Great theme song.
We need to stop doing this podcast now because my brain is shutting down.
You're done?
I am done. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, send the podcast everywhere.
Yeah.
That would be really nice. We really need it. Because we think these are good.
We enjoy doing them.
We like doing them, and we would love for more people to be exposed to it. So if you'd be so kind as to do all of those things I told you to do. Thank you for watching my live breakdown as my brain continues to melt.
Is that what the sweat was? Was your brain melting out of your pores?
I guess. Thank God I've stopped sweating. It took me about 30 minutes. Like I was timing it.
I was sitting right here. I know.
Sorry about that, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Great rest of your week. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.